Hey everybody, it's your friend Johan here. I hope you've been doing well. We're already 3 months into the year as it's March. And yeah, I know I could have waited until, the middle of the year, like around June or July to put this video out, but I've kind of had this topic for this top 10 list locked in for a while now. And even more so, I've had my top 10 songs for this list locked in for a little bit now. I think maybe since towards the end of last year. So, yeah, let's not waste time. Here are my top 10 favorite songs to come out of the 2020s so far. Starting us off at my number 10, we got an absolute banger, and that is Motionless in White's Slaughterhouse featuring Bryan Garris from Knock Loose. Yeah, this is obviously an obvious pick, but I feel like it would be genuinely insulting if I didn't have it on here. I mean, there's just so much awesomeness going on in this song. The production is great. The mix is great. There's so much punch and there's so much attack to it. And then Chris and Brian's vocals complement each other so well. And not to mention the big breakdown at the end of the song, which is just nasty. Yeah, I mean, since Motionless's 2014 album Reincarnate, I genuinely feel that Motionless has been making like the best sounding metalcore scene music, at least like just heavy music from that scene. And Slaughterhouse is just another prime example of that. Yeah, man, I wanted to start off this top 10 list strong, and I think Slaughterhouse does the job for that. So yeah, Motionless in White, Knock Loose, Slaughterhouse. Just like Slaughterhouse, my number 9 pick came out in 2022, and that is Still by Just Mustard. Yeah, one of my good friends, Mo, they actually put me onto this song and this album, so yeah, thank you, Mo. I love you. When I heard Just Mustard's album Hard Under for the first time, Still was definitely that song that captivated me the most, and I still feel that way to this day. The song is very dark and unsettling, but there's also this sexiness to it. It's very much reminiscent of Portishead, Health, and a Moon-Shaped Pool era Radiohead. All of those are bands that I like. So naturally, this was up my alley. Yeah, this is actually my most recent entry to this top 10 list, as in I just started listening to Just Mustard and this song specifically within the last month or so. Yeah, maybe it's recency bias, but ever since I started listening to them, I just haven't stopped. So yeah, I think that garners enough reason for me to put them at my number 9. Coming in at my number 8 spot is the third song in a row that came out in 2022, and that is Freshwater's The Razor's Apple. The Razor's Apple and the album that it comes from are just so fun and infectious to me, but with this song specifically, it just has like my favorite guitar tone out of all the songs on this top 10 list. Yeah, it's so rich, it's so warm, and yet it cuts so well, and it's just so bouncy. It's so in tandem just with the drums and the bass. Like it's just perfect. And yeah, on the vocal front, Marissa, the lead singer of Freshwater, her vocal performance here is just perfect, and how they treated her vocals is perfect as well. Yeah, I remember when I heard The Razor's Apple for the first time, and I think I was like driving around somewhere and my Spotify was just playing stuff on shuffle, and as soon as the song came on, my head was just bopping and immediate stank face. Like the song, the band, the album, like all of them are just awesome, and I'm gonna stop talking about them, otherwise I won't stop. Obviously, a top 10 list of mine has to have some Larry June on it, and his song Treasure Island is sitting at the lucky number 7 spot. Yeah, man, Larry is definitely my most listened to rapper, hip hop artist guy throughout the 2020s so far. And between Treasure Island and Watering My Plants, either or could have been on this list, but I ended up going with Treasure Island this time around just because there's just something different about it. The song is not even 2 minutes long, so it's pretty much just Larry rapping a 2-minute long verse. Another thing that really stuck out to me was just how goofy the beat on the song is, and in the best way possible, just because, well, it's different. Most of Larry's stuff is very much laid back G-funk, R&B, old school classic sampled type of stuff, and this beat is more upbeat, it's more playful, and it just gives Larry room to spit his typical Larry June verse. But when it's done on a different beat such as this one, it just made things more interesting to me, and I think that's why I put Treasure Island on here as opposed to Watering My Plants, even though I like Watering My Plants just as much. Treasure Island is just a fun and infectious song, and that's why it's been on constant rotation for me for most of the decade so far. Coming in at my number 6, we got Toronto Royalty, The Beaches, and their song What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Paranoid. Yeah, man, it doesn't matter if it's Blame Brett, Everything Is Boring, Edge of the Earth, or even an older song like T-Shirt. The Beaches know how to write a fucking banger. But it just so happens that What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Paranoid is my favorite. Jordan sings the opening line, I think I'm becoming a conspiracy theorist, which is just such a tone setter of a sentence. It sets the tone for how the song is going to go, the slow, inclining nature of the verses, and then just the drop of chorus. And speaking of the chorus, you know, it just hits so hard. What doesn't kill you makes you paranoid. You know, like the paranoid has so much punch to it, just because it's in sync with the cymbal hits and the guitars. It's just a perfectly crafted chorus. Yeah, I was actually lucky enough to catch the Beaches at the Bud last year with my homies, and yeah, the whole set was great. But obviously, this is one of my favorite songs by them, so just getting the chance to see them play the song live, it just hit extra hard. So yeah, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Paranoid by the Beaches is sitting nice at my number 6 spot. Halfway through my list, at my number 5 spot, we got Lianne Havas' Please Don't Make Me Cry. I love Lianne Havas so much, and to me, her self-titled record that came out in 2020 is her best work to date. On a song like the album opener, Bittersweet, you know, Lianne is obviously at her most technical, her most vocally impressive. Her cover of Radiohead's Weird Fishes halfway through the album is also very gorgeous. Please Don't Make Me Cry just has that, it has that sauce, that umami that just edges out all the other songs of the record for me, at least. The drums are so full and they're crisp. They're my favorite sounding drums out of all the songs on this top 10 list so far. The song structure is simple, it's straightforward, which to me, as I've said before, is the best way that one can write a song. And because it's a Lianne Havas song, her vocals during the chorus are just beautifully peppered all over the place, and they're layered so nicely, and they just sweep, and it's just such a pleasant thing to hear. I could ramble on and on as to how much I love Lianne Havas and how much I love her self-titled record, but we'd be here all day and we got 4 more songs to get to. So yeah, Please Don't Make Me Cry is sitting nice at my number 5 spot. At my number 4 spot, we got possibly my favorite Tiny Desk performance of all time, and that is Maten by Tangana and Antonio Carmona. When my cousin Justin showed me this Tiny Desk performance, I've just been in love and addicted to it ever since. So yeah, thank you, Justin, for putting me onto this. I love you. Just the way that Tangana and his ensemble of singers, the way that they're singing this song at the table is just, it's just such a dopamine hit. It's so wholesome. The way they're harmonizing together, the way they're, you know, making the rhythms and the beats on the table. It just reminds me of something that like me and my family would do during Christmas or any other type of family get together. Yeah, I'm just extremely happy that it's on streaming services, so all of us get to listen to it while we're on the go. And yeah, I love Maten so much, and this Tiny Desk performance by Tangana, it's phenomenal. Closing in at my top 3, we got I'm Not My Season by Fleet Foxes. This song, along with the album that it's on, Shore, it came out in September of 2020, so we were months into the pandemic at this point. And for whatever reason, this song pretty much summarized and eased my pandemic experience, which is funny to say now considering how I still listen to this song and this album as a whole, just in my day-to-day life. Yeah, I'm Not My Season is just a beautiful acoustic cut, as it's just Robin Pecknold and his guitar singing to you as if he's sitting across from you, or, you know, you're sharing a campfire with him. Robin's lyrics here are just super earnest and super reminiscent. It has this like very sweet Edelweiss quality to it, and I guess that's why it pulls me in more than the other songs on Shore. Yeah, man, like I said, I'm Not My Season is just a beautiful song. Shore is a beautiful album, and that's why it's sitting here nice at my number 3 spot. Coming in second place, we got A Sad Cartoon by one of my favorite bands, Loathe. Yeah, I've said it before in previous videos. Loathe's album, I Let It In and Took Everything, is like one of my favorite albums at this point. Not just in heavy music, but just in music in general. And why I have A Sad Cartoon this high up on my list as opposed to other songs on the album like Two-Way Mirror, Is It Really You, New Faces, you know, the bangers. I have Sad Cartoon here just because it's Eric's moment to shine. For those who don't know, Loathe consists of two vocalists. You have Kadeem, who is the main vocalist. He's more so on the harsh vocals. And then you have Eric, who plays guitar and does most of the cleans. This album is very much Kadeem dominated on the vocal front, but A Sad Cartoon is Eric's song, and his performance here is just beautiful. At this point, I think I'm gonna say that Eric is probably one of my favorite singers in heavy music. A Sad Cartoon is such an amazing song, and I'm happy that it's at the latter half of the album because I just think it's one of the best type of send-off kind of songs. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Loathe. A Sad Cartoon. And finally, at my number one spot, we got, in my opinion, the most perfect song of the 2020 so far, and that is Perfect Blue by Softcult. Shout out Kitchener, Ontario. To put it simply, Perfect Blue is just a shoegaze alt-rock masterpiece, and it all starts off with just that hauntingly beautiful guitar riff that Mercedes plays. The beauty of that guitar riff is only rivaled by the vocal performances here. Both Mercedes and Phoenix, their vocal performances are just airy and breathy and celestial and outerworldly, and it just complements the walls of guitars so much that go on in the song, and it just makes for a whole lightweight yet dark and heavy experience. Like there's kind of like that duality with this song. Speaking of duality, I don't know if this is fact or not, but maybe this song draws inspiration from the anime movie that came out in the 90s that is also called Perfect Blue. I hope they're anime fans, because if they are, that just makes them cooler. Like the many other bands that I got to see last year, I was very fortunate to catch Softcult play at the Velvet Underground last year as well, and obviously Perfect Blue was like one of my favorite songs to listen to, and seeing it live just made it even better. Whenever I put anyone on to Softcult, Perfect Blue is without a doubt like the first song that I show people, and to me, Perfect Blue is and will always be my favorite song of theirs, and that's why they're on the top of my list for my favorite songs to come out of the 2020 so far. Well, there you go, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those were my top 10 songs to come out of the 2020 so far. Yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and later on this month, I will be back to talk to you guys about my top 10 albums that came out of the 2020 so far. Until then, take care, be well, and tell your homies that you love them. Peace.